Meet Ryuichi, the young, sensitive soul who's had a rougher start in life than a cat trying to bathe a cactus. Both his parents took an unscheduled flight to the great beyond, leaving him in charge of his younger brother, Kotaro. Now, this is starting to sound like the setup for a sitcom, right? So there they were, two orphan brothers, invited to a swanky school by the chairwoman who, surprise, had also lost her own bundle of joy. Talk about a cosmic coincidence. Or maybe just terrible luck. Walking into the school's main office was like entering the lair of a stern-faced dragon, the chairwoman herself. She grilled Ryuichi, asking if he had mastered the art of diaper changing and child wrangling. Apparently, this school needed more babysitters than a daycare at a clown convention. To sweeten the deal, she offered Ryuichi a gig as a babysitter, throwing in room, board, and basic survival supplies. Saikawa, the chairwoman's sidekick, took Ryuichi on a tour, explaining the babysitting game plan. Turns out these kids were like tiny professors in training, offspring of the teachers, in need of constant supervision. But guess what? The school was suffering from a babysitter shortage worse than a dessert buffet at a weight loss convention. Students wouldn't touch the babysitters club with a 10-foot pole. And no, it's not because they were allergic to baby drool. As Ryuichi stepped into the chaos, he encountered the current babysitter, Usaida, who introduced him to the Kitty Squad with a jingle that could rival any pop sensation. Meet Taka, the one with black hair. On the far right is Kirin, the adorable girl. Then there are the twins, Kazuma and the little one he's carrying, Midori, and poor Kotaro. The kids eyed him like he was the boogeyman, launching a preemptive attack. Ryuichi jumped in to play human shield, and let's just say he became the punching bag for tiny fists of fury. Just when things couldn't get more chaotic, Kotaro, feeling more neglected than a leftover sandwich, got a comforting pep talk from Usaida. Then, like a part-time superhero, Usaida dropped the bomb, no overtime pay, and bolted, leaving Ryuichi alone with the typhoon of tiny terrors. It was his first day, and the kids were treating him like the main event at a wrestling match. Finally, the parents arrived to retrieve their offspring, and Ryuichi could breathe a sigh of relief bigger than a whale exhaling. But wait, there's more. Enter Hayato, Taka's brother, with a peculiar love language, using fists instead of words. Ah, sibling affection. A true masterpiece. After a whirlwind of chaos, Ryuichi found himself sprinting out of the babysitting battleground, clutching his feverish brother Kota like a man on a mission. A quick hospital visit revealed it was just a minor hiccup, and both brothers were given a clean bill of health. Trying to share the good news with their MIA dad, Ryuichi hit a heartbreaking realization. His parents were nowhere to be found. Cue the chairwoman, delivering a speech about how Ryuichi finally joined the Cry Club at the funeral. Turns out, being emotionally constipated wasn't a commendable trait. Kota was fine. They headed home, and all was as okay as a cat meme on the internet. The end. For now. Who knew babysitting could be this much of a roller coaster? Alright, buckle up for the tale of Kota, the master of early morning mischief, and his brother Ryu, who's just trying to survive the chaos. Picture this. Kota wakes up with mischief on his mind, ready to make Ryu's day a living anime nightmare. But before Ryu can even sip his coffee of existential dread, the chairwoman storms in like a hurricane on a caffeine overdose. She's not having any time-wasting shenanigans and throws a tantrum, warning Ryu that there's no such thing as a free lunch in the babysitter's club business. Then, like a drill sergeant with a flair for drama, she orders him into the mandatory school uniform because even babysitters need to look sharp, apparently. With the uniform reluctantly clinging to his every curve, Ryu heads to the school for his official initiation into the Babysitters Club. Enter Usa, the shift-swapping superhero who's covering for Ryu during class. As Ryu struts his stuff through the school, he notices everyone's eyes glued to him like he's the star of a reality show about awkward school moments. It's only when Haya spills the tea that Ryu realizes the kids, including mischievous Kota, have declared him their idol. Cue Haya dropping the hammer on the crying kiddos, courtesy of her strict tone. The gang is banished to the nursing room, where Haya gives Yusa a well-deserved scolding for his slacking. Ryu, bless his heart, tries to comfort the emotionally distraught kiddos who've been scarred by Maria, the school's rule enforcer. And just when you think Maria is the queen of mean, she does a complete 180. Yusa, witnessing this shift, pulls a masterful sick day act, leaving them alone with Maria, who suddenly turns into the patron saint of roleplay. Maria spills her lonely heart, confessing that her life is as exciting as watching paint dry, and studying is her only joy. The kids, probably realizing Maria's life is more tragic than a Shakespearean play, open up to her, and they end up having a group hug nap session. It's like a bizarre sleepover where everyone cries, laughs, and naps together. Typical Tuesday, right? Later, Ryu, feeling adventurous, proposes a field trip to the zoo to the chairwoman. Surprisingly, she gives it a thumbs up, thinking a change of scenery could do them good. And oh boy, was she right, the kids have a blast with the animals, especially the baby tigers. It turns out the zoo is the ultimate babysitter's paradise, and they wrap up the day with gratitude overflowing like a fountain of warm fuzzies. All in all, a fantastic day in the Babysitter's Club, proving that even in the world of chaos, there's room for adorable antics and zoo adventures. Hold on to your plushies, because we're diving into the daycare drama where love, chocolates, and nosebleeds are on the menu. So, back at the daycare, the kiddos are living their best toy-filled lives when Yusa, being the calendar enthusiast he is, notices the date, Valentine's Day. Expecting gifts like a Cupid with high expectations, he asks the kids for some love loot. However, the kids are as clueless as a goldfish at a chess tournament, leaving Yusa giftless and heartbroken. Meanwhile, in the teenage classrooms, it's chocolate gifting time, but there's a catch. No chocolates allowed. Enter the stickler for rules, our very own Maria, who reigns on everyone's cocoa parade. Yagi, the charming heartthrob, becomes the center of attention, and the girls, fed up with Maria's rule-book recitation, join forces to give her a verbal beatdown. Surprisingly, Yagi, more than just a pretty face, diffuses the situation and decides to join the Babysitter's Club. Maria, in response, channels her inner drama queen, screams at Yagi for reasons unknown, and struts away, leaving everyone perplexed. Is it sad or just a masterclass in awkward social interactions? Who knows? Later, Yagi waltzes into the Babysitter's Club like a celebrity at a fan convention, introducing himself to Ryu and the gang. Over in the library, Maria, in true detective fashion, overhears rumors about Yagi's intense love for kids. Cue her rushing to the scene only to find Yagi suffering from a nosebleed, courtesy of Kota's overwhelming cuteness. Nezu, Yagi's friend, steps in like a concerned parent and drags him away, like a kitten in protest. During the chocolate crisis, the kids turn into tiny chocolate addicts begging Maria for their fix. Initially unleashing her evil side, Maria has a change of heart and promises them the finest chocolates money can buy the next day. Sweet relief. As the sun sets on this daycare soap opera, Ryu walks Maria home and drops a bomb. He likes her. Cue Maria turning redder than a lobster in a hot tub, unsure if it's a declaration of love or just Ryu being Ryu. The next day, a wild celebrity dad appears. Takuma's and Kazuma's father, a famous actor trying and failing to keep a low profile. After some explaining, they welcome him to the daycare, adding a touch of glitz and glamour to the kiddie chaos. And that, my friends, is how the daycare turned into a Hollywood hangout where love, chocolates, and nosebleeds are just part of the everyday saga. Thanks for watching, fellow weebs. If you enjoyed this recap, dive into the next video or playlist, and don't forget to check out our cool anime hoodies in the description below. See you in the next recap.